Hello, welcome to the THC show. I'm Neil Magnuson, your host. This is a show where we try to find some of the truths that we're not too happy about, but we also try to include some reasons for hope in turning things around, and of course some mechanisms for change. Thus the name, the THC show, with truth, hope, and change. So we're broadcasting today from the former location of the Healing Wave Cannabis Substitution Program storefront, where we were evicted a long time ago. I guess I'll give you a little bit of the history of our program, like I always do for those people that aren't familiar, that are just tuning in. So we ran a program that started 3 years and 10 months ago from the Vancouver area network of drug users offices here on the downtown east side of Vancouver, where we gave away high-dose cannabis edibles to people that were struggling with addiction of the hard drugs and the opioids due to the epidemic of overdose deaths that started happening in that year before. I learned that high-dose edibles can work to get people through withdrawal and to substitute the use of the other dangerous street drugs back in 2004 when I opened the Herb School, the Vancouver School of Drug War History and Organic Cultivation, just one block over from here on Hastings, close to Maine. And it was there that we found out that people in the neighborhood that were struggling with addiction to hard drugs could get through a night of withdrawal just with a couple of good strong brownies. So fast forward to 2016, we have another overdose crisis going on. The one previous to that in the late 90s was China White. This one's fentanyl, although I hear they're both similar drugs. But the fentanyl overdose crisis here in Vancouver was taking an enormous toll on people. At the same time, there was a whole bunch of dispensaries here that were unregulated and unlicensed, and the government of the city of Vancouver decided that they would regulate those dispensaries, which was really code for shutting down most of them because they couldn't comply with the regulations. But even prior to legalization in Canada, the city of Vancouver wanted to get on top of that and regulate these dispensaries and give them licenses if they were in line with the regulations. One of the things they did with the regulations was they took away the sale of high-dose edibles. And for me, I mean, that was the absolute complete wrong thing to do with my experience and understanding that high-dose edibles is what gets people through withdrawal and off of these drugs. So to reduce the amount of options people had to find those in the city right when we were having an epidemic of people overdosing and dying was the absolute wrong thing to do. So that prompted me to put together the Cannabis Substitution Program, which was where we gave out high-dose edibles to make it as easy as we could for people, and especially those people suffering with poverty and other barriers here on the downtown east side. So we gave out high-dose edibles in the form of care packs for the first year, once a week. For the second 2.5 years, twice a week, every Thursday and Sunday, we would meet and there'd be a long lineup of people and we would give out about 300 care packs every time. So that prompted Professor M.J. Malloy, who's a doctor that has a special area of expertise with respect to cannabis as a professor at UBC, to start doing studies on the effectiveness of cannabis in replacement of these other drugs and substances. And he determined through interviews with our clientele and studying our project and other things as well, that there was a very effective way to provide cannabis to people that would help them with all these things. And so he's been a big supporter of ours all the way through. Those reports that he put out prompted the city of Vancouver to pass a motion June 26, 2019, where they would support low barrier access to cannabis to address the overdose crisis. So that prompted us to go and meet with the councillor who put that motion forward. A group of us, including Jody Emery and a representative of the Green Cross and a member from Vandu, went and met with the councillor and came to an understanding that we would open a storefront, we would start providing low barrier access, and then city staff would come and assess us to see if we were actually responding to the needs of the community in the right way, and if so, that they would find a way to license us. So it took us a year to find a storefront, but we finally did. A beautiful space, about a block off of Main and Hastings, and just far enough away that people don't have to be triggered by all the stuff that goes on at Main and Hastings. And we operated our little store for almost 5 months, 4.5 months, but the city staff did not come and assess us. The city staff had not moved at all on the motion that was put before them. They were supposed to find a path forward to be able to license a place like what we were going to provide, and they hadn't done anything about that. City licensing, however, they stumbled upon us early into us being here, and decided that we weren't a licensed dispensary, that we needed to go through the provincial licensing program and give them $30,000 to get a license from the city and all of that stuff. We tried to explain that we weren't one of the government stores, we weren't going to be a non-medical recreation government licensed store, that we were providing low barrier access, which was not something that would allow within the provincial regulations. And so we ended up getting a letter sent to us and our landlord threatening fines, and that resulted in our landlord delaying as long as he could, because he really didn't want to evict us and he loved the work that we were doing in the community. But his lawyer felt that because of that letter from the city, he really needed to try to evict us, and he took us to court. So in court, the judge decides that we have unclean hands, that he's not going to give us an adjournment on his decision and allow us time to get federal licenses approved, because we've applied for those things, and we're just waiting for actually an emergency temporary exemption from the minister's office, and that should come any day. But the judge refused to give us any time. He refused to give us any time to find a new space. He simply told us we had to be out in 7 days. I find that completely appalling, that he would say that we have unclean hands in court. I've never been charged or convicted in all the time I've been doing this program at all. And in fact, we have quite a track record of helping so many people, like hundreds of people, and getting them off of opioids and saving their lives from dying of this overdose that's killing so many of our friends and other people around here. So for the judge to say we had unclean hands, when I think that probably we deserve a medal, is really disgusting in my opinion. In fact, we presented the judge with evidence, with letters from Dr. Malloy, from Professor Zachary Walsh, from the local psychiatric nurse that works on the downtown east side, that stated very clearly that our project was saving lives, and that if we were to stop what we were doing, there would be many people that would be put at risk of overdose and death as a result. But the judge decided that we should be kicked out because we were breaking laws to do this, even though it's obvious these laws are corrupt. They should be of no force and effect. If a criminal law is not preventing any harm, but is in fact resulting in you not being able to save someone's life, I don't think that law has any force and effect. It has no business having any force and effect. And because the judge made his decision to protect the corporate interests of the government stores and ignore the actual life and death issues of the people who we've been helping for all this time, I'd say that his hands are not only dirty, but he has blood on his hands, as do so many others with what they're doing here. So that all happened, and right away we had to move out of here, and we knew that we couldn't stop providing our service. The people that we're helping do not have contact information for the most part, most of them. So we needed to still be where we were, no longer able to go back to Vandu and provide our service from there. Having been in this place for 4.5 months, people knew where to find us. So I went and got an RV, and we were parking the RV right out in front and helping people through there. 2 weeks into doing that, and 2 weeks ago last Saturday, the VPD showed up and did a blitz raid on us, stole about 2/3 of the stuff that we had available for people, and forced me to drive away, threatening me that they were going to impound our vehicle. It all took less than 15 minutes. The officer in charge refused to listen to what I had to say, refused to look at the letters of support that I had offered him to look at, telling me that if I didn't drive it away immediately, he would have it impounded. So I did drive it away, thinking that they would probably pull me over 2 blocks away and get away from all the people that were yelling at them that what they were doing was wrong, and then arrest me and take the vehicle. But they didn't. So I drove straight to the main police headquarters on Cambie Street. I asked to talk to Deputy Chief Ray or another senior officer, but was denied that. Told that I could pick up a phone at the far end of the lobby and someone would talk to me and listen to me. I did all of that, and then decided the only thing to do was to go back to where we had been parked and to open up again for people, and that's what we did. We had a group of people waiting for us. No one got turned away. They all just waited till we got back. We were less than an hour and we were back open again. However, the day to follow, we had the parking people come, and sent by the VPD, one of the senior guys, and even though we had money in the meter, he was going to have us, he was going to ticket us, and he said that we'd been there more than 2 hours, which was true, but all the other cars in the block, for the most part, parked there all day, every day, and never get a ticket for being there for more than 2 hours, but apparently you're allowed to discriminate if it's not against race or gender. And so he said I had to drive away or get a ticket, so I drove away. I went 2 blocks down, 2 blocks up, came back, parked just a couple spots down. He also told me that day that we were not allowed to park anywhere in the block, but I did anyway. I came back because people have to be able to find us. And then the following morning, I wrote a long letter to Deputy Chief Steve Ray, who I've had an email relationship with since I first presented our project to the VPD board back in 2016, November of 2016. And so I wrote this letter to Steve Ray, and he responded back, said it wasn't in his command section, he wasn't aware of what was going on, but that he would circulate emails and find out what was going on, and someone would talk to me, they wouldn't just come and raid me. So it took them 10 days to do that, and then they did. A female officer from the VPD, Candace Murphy, said she was in charge of the local beat cops here. She called me. She said she'd been given my file and what was going on. So I gave her the whole rundown of how we opened this place in good faith, believing that the city would support us, that we couldn't get our business license from them because we couldn't get Ottawa to give us a temporary exemption, although we were still expecting that any day. I made it very, very clear to her that the experts say that the people that we are helping would be put at great risk of overdose and death if we stop doing our project. She listened to all of that sympathetically, giving me some oohs and ahs all the way through. And at the end she said, well, we really sympathize with you and we hope that you can get it all sorted out, but no, you can't do what you're doing. You're going to have to stop selling cannabis to people. And so, because we had low barrier means that we were selling cannabis, but it really reduced prices, $1 a gram to $6 a gram, really good quality cannabis, all the high-end extracts, the concentrates, the edibles and things that people need. People take cannabis in a variety of different forms that work for them, and we needed to have all of those available for people, and we did. So in any way, Candace said that I had to stop, and I said, no, we can't, we wouldn't do that. She says, you must, or I'm going to come and arrest you. And I said, you do what you have to do, we'll do what we have to do. We're a large group of people here. If you arrest me, there'll be someone to take my place. If you take away our vehicle, we'll bring another vehicle in. You might not care about these people that we're helping, but we care about them, and we're a society, and that's our job to care about them. And so that we're not going to turn our backs on them, we're not going to stop. And so that's where we left it. So in discussions about that phone call, we decided that we would try to keep the sales to a down low. And selling cannabis, by the way, is extremely important, as well as our giveaway program. The giveaway program allows 420 milligrams to people every 4 days to help them get off of their opioids and other things, and that's free to them. But there's many people who are struggling with addiction to opioids and other street drugs who will not stand up and be identified and join a group of people that are trying to visibly get off of these things. There are people who need somewhere where they can go discreetly and pick up some cannabis and use the cannabis instead of the other things that they're using. They need to have a place they can get high dose edibles and the good concentrates without scrutiny. And so that's what low barrier is all about. And it was the selling side that the VPD seemed to be most upset about, of course, because that's threatening the government non-medical stores because they have an artificially high price for cannabis, post-prohibition price that's even higher than it was during prohibition. And so they want to protect those interests, and that's what their concern is all about. So we decided that we would not do sales above board, that we would just keep that to our members on a down low. And so that's what we've been doing. On Thursday, which would be 8 days after my phone call from Candace Murphy, we had a couple of VPD officers come and park right behind our RV, watch us for about 20-25 minutes, and then when we were finished at the end of the day, they came and they wanted to talk to me. They said that they saw money going into the RV and what's going on with that. And I said, that's just donations, that we decided as a group to suspend sales until such time as we can get our ministerial exemption. And so that was what I told them. And now we're just waiting to see what that results in, because I suspect that that means they're going to send in undercovers to see if they can purchase off of us, and they're going to do an investigation and all the rest of the stuff, which is just an absolute horrendous waste of taxpayer money. But far worse than that is it's exposing just how corrupt our system is. We are harming no one. There is no complaint of anybody being harmed in the 3 years and 10 months that we've been running our program, or the 6 months that we've been offering it for sale to people. No one has been harmed. But there are reams of people who have been helped by what we're doing. There are dozens and dozens of people that'll tell you that cannabis, because of us making it available to them, has gotten them off of those street drugs and has saved their life and has given them a quality of life they never knew before. So we are doing so much good in a devastated area of our city where poverty and barriers and mental health issues and all the rest that's going on down here it's a war zone down here, and we're here braving all of that in the front lines, giving what needs to be given to people to help them in ways that the government hasn't done yet. All they have is pharmaceutical replacements for the pharmaceutical opioids that the people are already on. And so that's not going to help anybody. What we're doing is really helping people get off of those things, and yet we're facing this kind of resistance funded by taxpayers where law enforcement are trying to intimidate us. And so today, we had the parking guy back again. And now he gave us a ticket because I refused to move. He says he's going to give us a ticket every day, that he's being told that that's what he has to do, and that we're not allowed to park anywhere in this block. And he marked impound on the ticket. So I don't think they can impound us while we're sitting in it, and I might have to have somebody sleep in it now overnight to keep that from happening. I don't really know what's going on with these guys, but I know that they're using all their power that they can to discriminate against our group that are trying to help save people's lives. And they either want the people that we're helping to die, or they're just much more concerned about the money that might be lost by these corporate groups that have taken over the sale and the production of cannabis in Canada here. There's the 419 warning, probably just in time. I was just starting to get a little wound up there. This situation is actually, far more serious than I'm even portraying it. I can't show you just how angry and upset that I am, and we should be, about what's going on here. I try to keep myself a little more calm than that, and speak properly to things. But this is beyond disgusting. It's beyond any words that I can really come up with. I'm horrified that we're having to fight our governments like this, and that they're actively interfering with our life-saving work here the way that they are. So, write letters, please, to the federal health minister, to the local media, to any other politicians that you can think of. Write letters to the VPD, make phone calls. Please, we need help doing this. This is very, very important. This is about whether or not in your community you're going to be able to have cannabis available in an affordable, quality way that we deserve and that we should have. Or are we going to be stuck having the government sell us crappy cannabis at super highly inflated prices that really cuts out all the people that are daily users, medical users, and people that just don't have money to afford such things? This is the game that's being played, folks. This is the biggest one going on in town. This is the biggest news story that's come along in my mind, that so much of our precious tax dollars and police resources are being used to try to keep people from accessing cannabis so that they have to use the government stores and give the billionaires more money. So it's 420. Light them if you got them. And as always, I'm really thrilled that I get to be joined on my show by 8 out of 10 Glenn from CannaMatch.ca. How you doing, Glenn?
Sneaking in, buddy.
Got my tea there.
And
as always.
I want a nice hat from Doug and Michelle.
Doug and Michelle.
So, I'm going to wear the hat
hey,
for
Doug
the
and Michelle.
moment. There we go.
Doug and Michelle Sikora.
Yeah, Doug is watching with us.
the S&M sweet shop over there in Gibson's.
Yep.
And they've gotten a license from their city. So they're supported by their city and what they do.
They got a new one this year, too.
They just got it renewed.
She's so happy about the little piece
congratulations
of
to them
for
the good work that they're doing in convincing their community about the value of cannabis for people. I guess I should.
And it's good that the council is supporting them too.
That's right.
They're seeing it. It's not just them doing it, right? The council and people that they actually live with.
And this actually goes on in Victoria too, where there's another cannabis substitution program going over there that's run out of the Solid Group. And they got their city council and the police on board with them early on into their project, which dates back about 3 years as well now. So good on them for that, and bad on our city council for not supporting us the way that they should have.
Wow.
Although I got to say, Rebecca Bly has been great, and Jean Swanson signed on to the letter of support that was written by them. And the entire mayor and council voted unanimously to support low barrier access. So, I mean, we do have that kind of support from our city council.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I guess they're just not able to fend off licensing for us, or somehow pressure the federal government to give. I don't know
what's going on.
I do know that when I first presented the project to City Council here in Vancouver, mind you, that was different councillors than we have now, and a different mayor than we have now. But they really didn't support me back then. They didn't actively interfere either.
Yeah.
But they didn't support. It wasn't until 2.5 years later, and this council that we have now, that passed that motion put forward by Rebecca Bly. So at this point, we do have support from our council, and they do in Victoria. And shout out to Victoria for doing what they're doing. Also want to mention the East Coast Substitution Project there, the Cannabis Substitution Project run by Chris Backer and all of his amazing donators and volunteers. Those folks are doing a fabulous job. And they're going to help us with our little project.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
They've been sharing out the GoFundMe link for the Doobs and Tubes that we're doing here December the 22nd for the show. We're going to be heading out doobies and socks and
cooked cannabis infused cookies and rolling papers
and pizza. Yeah, John is going to bring some festive pizza. We're going to put some green pepper and some red pepper on it because green and red is the color for Christmas, and we'll hand out some pizza, so we'll have like some festive pizza.
And we got a beautiful donation from Canadian Lumber paper suppliers to the Cannabis Substitution Program that's going to allow us to give a pack of papers out to everybody that we give out to as well.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's really good.
Cabela's is giving us 40% off on each bag of socks.
And these are good socks. These are good socks. Typically $10.
Actually they're more than that. I think they're still $11, so like probably about $20 a bag or something. But there's 4 pairs in each bag, so we have 60 bags, so we'll be able to give out 240 pairs of socks to everybody. So it's,
along with the cannabis.
Yes, and I think the total was $996, which is the $1,000 mark I made, and I made it for $1,500 to give it room to see if we get anything extra, and then maybe we can do something extra.
If we get extra, we'll certainly get it to the people.
Yeah, we can get some toiletries for them or something like that, some shampoo and bars of soap. Soap would be good, being it's COVID right now, right?
Yeah.
So.
I know John Murray's also put it out there that he'll pick up whatever donations people come up with if they want to help us with other things to hand out to people. So it's a Christmas event. We did the same thing last year as well.
Thank you to Elena from Cabela's in Abbotsford. So I can, if you're going to be here, I can bring them in next week and stuff like that. We'll be here. So yeah.
We're able to still occupy the space now. We're not allowed to have a store here until we get our ministerial exemption. But in the meantime, we still are, in this space. The landlord was good enough about allowing us to keep it. He is a supporter of ours.
Yeah, he's a really
and this is the address that we used for our federal applications. Yeah. So, maybe tomorrow. I mean, it's past time now. I'm posting this every day now. It's like your thank you post. For me, it's my hopeful post.
Your hopeful post.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that today is the day.
Stand up.
I was hopeful that today was the day, but now it's already like 7:25 back east, so it's not happening today.
Neil doesn't want his 2 front teeth for Christmas. He wants his exemption.
I need it's simple. It's easy. It only takes a moment. Yeah. It's a piece of paper. Yeah. It's just like this. We all have them. Yeah. And just a signature. And maybe a little bit of writing, but not much probably. That's all I want for Christmas, please. And then Miss Haydu, please. Because there's people that are not going to have a good Christmas if you don't help us. As the enforcement escalates, I don't know where it goes from here, but I can't see it de-escalating until Miss Haydu decides to forgive us. Yeah, they sent the parking guy here again today, so obviously they're still at it, and they're still actively thinking about what they can do to us next.
When the parking guy's going to go on Christmas vacation?
$50 a day, that's what he said. He's going to give us a $50 ticket every day. So maybe we should have a GoFundMe page for the $50 a day.
Really?
If he gives me a ticket, I don't have to pay the meter, and we were already putting $20 a day into the meter, so it might only be a $30 a day fine.
Yeah,
make it easier on the GoFundMe.
Well, isn't the meter good for 12 hours? So that's about $48.
It's from 9 in the morning until 10 o'clock at night.
13 hours.
But from 9 until 4, it's only $1 an hour.
Yeah.
And then from 4 until 10, it's like $2 an hour.
Oh wow! Okay.
And that's because there used to be nightclubs that were open at nighttime down the street from us in Gastown. And so I guess the city figured that those people had more money than the average person coming into this neighborhood during the day. Yeah. And so they doubled the price on them.
Oh, wow. And did you hear the city just bought the Regent Hotel?
And the Balmoral.
So they could have some more.
Did you hear how much? Because I didn't hear what the settlement was on that. They tried to buy it for $1, but that ended them up in court.
Oh, really?
And now they've come up to some settlement, but I didn't hear how much it was.
It's a crappy place, anyways.
They got to tear it down. There's no point renovating that space.
You think they? Well, it's brick, right? So they could probably just Carrot, just gut it.
Right, gut it to the bricks, maybe.
Yeah,
But,
I think
I wouldn't.
Too much construction for the downtown east side
it's
there.
too expensive to do that. It's way cheaper
Yeah.
to just gut it or just tear it down and build new. I mean, those bricks are not earthquake proof. There would have to be so much seismic upgrade go on to allow for that. To have to gut a place is difficult to do. You know, it's way better just take the wrecking ball to it and then build a new one. Sometimes you can't do it here, though. I don't know about in those two cases, because if they're designated heritage, then you aren't allowed to tear it down.
It, right?
You have to gut it, keep the frame.
Because this place has never been. It's only been gutted. You can see this original brick.
This is all original here. This is 120 some years old, probably.
Wow.
I don't know if it's deemed heritage or not. It's not that fancy of buildings. It may or may not be. Probably not.
Wow.
I don't know.
You'd have to check.
But yeah. But anyways, they're going to do something with that.
Famous person could have been in this store at some time.
Yeah. Well, I'm here.
Well,
You're here.
Oh yeah, I was going to post up the GoFundMe link.
Okay.
While I'm here, and we're at $745 right now, and you're going to contribute. You said, right?
Yeah. You can put us in for 100, even though we've taken some hits
now
here.
we're up to $845. You just heard that right now. There's another $25. 850, 870. We're at 870 right now. That's good. There's the GoFundMe link. You guys, we all know we have restrictions. We can't visit our families and stuff right now. So if you've got a little bit of extra money because you're not going to go visit someone, maybe you can help out the people from the downtown east side this year. You know, even $20. $20 is like a half a tank of gas. You know, send in $20 and it'll make a big difference. It really will.
It's almost 2 packs of socks.
It's almost 2 packs of socks. Yeah, well, yeah, it'll be 1 bag, 4 pairs. Yeah.
And there's also the Cannabis Substitution Program that people could donate to as well.
Yeah.
We're always looking for more donations to help people out. We give out 250 plus people 420 milligrams every 4 days. So that's a fair amount of milligrams of beta. Shout out to Mary McCarthy, by the way, who's been so good.
And Colleen.
Sean Garrels, Colleen. So many people to help us. John Murray. That's what happens when you start naming people. Is now there's a whole bunch of people that weeds, glass, and gifts.
And if we didn't mention your name, we're thinking of you. We really appreciate it.
It's overwhelming for me when I start to think about how many people contribute to what we're doing here. It becomes overwhelming, and I really quickly recognize that there's a whole bunch that I'm not going to be able to remember. So you know who you are. I know that people don't even do it for recognition. It's not about getting promoted or anything like that. I never make that deal with anybody. It's just what they want to help, and they've been helping in profound, huge ways for so long now. Some right from the beginning. Weeds, Glass, and Gifts have been there right since the beginning. John Murray's got over 3 years now. Colleen too. Colleen Corley right since the beginning as well. So it's been fantastic. Mary, we brought Mary in from New Brunswick, and she's been our head baker ever since. She just took right over, and she does amazing work for us. Keeps up with whatever we need. Whenever we start getting low, she just starts baking. And so that's awesome as well.
She's baking every week. I see
always
pictures of her stuff.
S&M Medicinal Sweet Shop.
S&M Medicinal Sweet Shop have donated to us many times over the past, and they're going to have something for us for the giveaway coming up here. Thanks for reminding me.
Has a candy donation.
Of course,
nice.
Because
thank you.
What's Christmas without candy?
And
the candy man will not disappoint. I guarantee you.
Medicated candy.
Doug is incredible.
Maybe they got medicated candy canes. So he makes lollipops. I don't know,
I've never seen medicated candy cane.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you maybe just dip a candy cane into something and have it dry on it? Or
Doug would know.
Doug would know. He's watching right now, so we'll see.
Shout out to Doug.
Yeah, he's got 2 weeks. He's got 2 weeks, Doug.
That's so awesome.
If you want to ship it to my house, you've got my address. We can do it that way too. Or actually, if you're going to come here, probably it'd be better if he comes here on December 22nd. That would be nice to have you guys here for 3 days before Christmas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what else we got? CannaMatch.ca must be
we're getting
booming
there
right about now because it's Christmas time and people have to isolate, and you want to at least connect virtually with
I
people.
got this commercial right here. It's getting there.
I don't mind giving you
I
a
had
plug for that because that's such a wonderful service. Right?
Yeah, I got 3 people join. Just checked it yesterday and activated 3 more people.
So how many you got now? 4,200?
Yeah, I think it's 4,205.
I see.
So, and yeah, it's at CannaMatch.ca.
It's just a great service, right?
It
connects people, and connecting is what we need to do these days, especially.
Well, you remember how you used to smoke a joint out in the corner and somebody say, "Hey, man, that smells good," and you'd meet a new friend? Well, now you don't have to do that anymore.
That's right.
You just go to CannaMatch.ca. You can meet somebody who smokes pot in your neighborhood. You can either start a new friendship, or if it's a girl, maybe a relationship.
So they start a profile, I would imagine, and they can tell all kinds of things about themselves.
And then
favorite strain.
It matches you up and sends you your matches and stuff like that.
So do you match by strain?
No.
The Kush users with the Kush users?
By area.
By
area. But that's right. We need a little mixing of the sativas and the indicas, and then we'll have little hybrids come out afterwards.
Well, then the group, the little hybrids.
The little hybrids, yeah.
One day there will be a whole group of these people that were formed simply because of CannaMatch.ca. I became a human because of CannaMatch.ca. That's what the kids' parents will be telling them. How did you and mommy meet? Well, it was this great service.
In the OG days,
I needed somebody to smoke a joint with.
You're just hybrids of our society and community now. Isabel would be a hybrid.
We're all hybrids. Everybody's a hybrid.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think Jerry Martin's not going to be with us this week.
Yes.
It's not because of an Iboga experience gone bad. That's where he was off to last week. Although it wasn't everything that he hoped it would be, apparently. We'll let him tell you all about that when he's on the show next. But he had a business meeting that conflicted with the show time today. Jerry's a very busy guy. He's got his biopharmatech company there that's going to be furthering the idea of using all kinds of hallucinogens and psychedelics.
And I'm going to be doing a giveaway in January. Yep.
And so, he's doing really fine work because that's a very, very important aspect of where we need to have more freedom. Is our ability to access those natural compounds that can help people with addiction and depression. And all
this
these
is
other
for
things.
microdosing only. Right, so
that's what his thing is about, for sure.
So if you're interested in doing some microdosing, you've got PTSD, depression, any mental problems, and you want to start microdosing like a lot of people have been doing and getting good results, then his medicine is good for that.
Right, and they're furthering some studies, and they're going to have some working groups and people that are part of this as well, so that's awesome.
Yeah, and we'll be doing a waffle thing, or whatever you want to call it.
That's waffle. Hopefully it's waffly good.
So that you can start your new year as a New Year's resolution to make your mental health a little bit better. We'll be giving away
We all need to be working on our mental health.
Yes, we do.
That's for damn
Especially
sure.
during these COVID days.
Even without that, but now it's like, oh man.
Yeah, man, I'm shopping online now and having groceries delivered to me. I don't get to walk the aisles and get my steps up anymore or lose weight. Now I'm getting fat sitting at home.
Exactly. Right? There's a lot of problems that people are having not getting the same level of exercise that they were getting before because they're staying at home.
And then the Angus Reid today poll said that 20% of British Columbia is not going to listen to Miss Bonnie Henry and just go out and do their Christmas stuff. And we can see churches are doing the same thing. And
well, they've said that you can't even have anybody over to your house.
Yeah, I mean, that's right.
I think that's getting
But if you're like me, I can, because I live single. I can have 2 people.
You can have 2 people if you're single.
But a family can't have 2 people come to their home, even if it's grandpa and grandma.
Or aunt or uncle or friends of the kids.
That doesn't make sense. How come I get to have 2 people that I can say are in my thing, but they can't?
I think
any family should be allowed to have 2 people come to their house at least for Christmas. So
I've spent my whole activist career dealing with prohibition, which is a complete logic-free zone. If you ever try to make sense of why your public servant would try to protect you from these substances, which are way safer and better than the ones they let you have, it makes no sense. And this whole pandemic thing is an absolute logic-free zone as well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get into it. We shouldn't talk about it. It's so divisive amongst people.
Right?
But it's the divisiveness, it's the mental health issues, it's the control issues, it's all of these things that are just they don't make a lot of sense, but you can see how some groups are really positioned to make a real large amount of money off of it.
Yeah.
And so it's scary. And also the control, maybe governments around the world were losing control with successful protests going on everywhere, that all that got stopped when this happened. And now the measures that are being brought in to really control people, it's very scary.
I was saying that, because in Hong Kong they were having those protests where every night and things were getting destroyed. Then all of a sudden Wuhan comes out with coronavirus and everybody's locked up in their homes and we can't protest for them anywhere else in the world because we're all locked up too, right?
Those Hong Kong protests were really front and center at the time, but there was a lot of other stuff going on around the world as well.
Yeah. And
all of that got shut down and there's been very little way to do that.
It makes it look like they did it on purpose.
And now, in our case, we're protesting the fact that we're being harassed here, that we can't seem to get the federal government to get us a simple ministerial exemption, a little signature on a piece of paper that would allow us to continue doing what we've been doing for years,
saving lives.
which is saving people's lives.
Yeah.
And we can't get that done. And one of the excuses being used is the COVID has slowed everything down as well. So in this case, I don't care what's in your way. Minister, please sign the paper. Let us continue doing what we're doing. People are going to die if you don't. And I can't imagine that the media is going to ignore us forever, even though I know the media is owned by a lot of these same people that are making money off all the rest of this stuff, right? And that's another big story that's happening, is that I have contacted the media, all the mainstream media outlets. CBC got back to me today, and it looks like they're going to talk to me about it.
Good.
But the other mainstream media outlets, they've gotten all the information. I've kept them up to date.
Yeah.
This is outrageous harassment. This is harassment of a good group of people that have formed a society that have an answer to the opioid epidemic, and we're being stopped as best we can by the forces
will bring them on
of
board
government.
Because once they see it on the CBC, and they might come to you.
They might.
But
it's a big story.
It's a ball that starts rolling, right?
Prohibition itself has always been a big story to begin with, but when it's come to this point, where now it's the real sick and suffering people that are at risk of death if they can't get access the way that we've been easily able to offer it to them, except that it isn't easy because government is resisting instead of supporting. So it's a huge, huge story, but it's not something that they're willing to talk about yet. And what has that got to do with what their ownership is all about and what their actual underlying agenda is all about with respect to what they support and what they don't. This is a big story.
Yeah.
The only reason we're being interfered with and not supported is because we're competing with the government artificially inflated prices for their cannabis.
Yeah.
And that's disgusting.
And they don't care about the poor people.
They don't care about the poor people.
No.
They don't care about the people that are going to die.
Poor people are not working, paying taxes and stuff like that. They consider them a burden on the economies and stuff like that.
We can only hope it's not malicious.
Yeah.
But it almost seems like it's a death wish for those people. It's like, or they got themselves into this mess. They should just they shouldn't even be
I
helped.
hate to say it, but it's like they're thinking that they're going to kill themselves anyway. So why should we help them? And that's
we've
sad.
rescued
That's sad.
we've rescued so many people in our 3 years and 10 months of doing this. Yeah. There are so many good people that I know now that are just using cannabis that say that cannabis saved their life, and they're now highly functioning people that are living a good, happy life.
Yeah.
And when we met them, they weren't. When we met them, they were drug sick and suffering and not knowing that there was a way out. And we found them a way out, and we can find a way out for a whole bunch more people if we're given the support to do that. We got over 300 people on our waiting list.
Yeah.
And we stopped taking names on our waiting list because 300 is ridiculous. But, we can't help more people yet because we don't have the resources to do that yet.
Helping people is an amazing thing. Like my neighbor right now, she just found out how good it feels to help somebody. She found out that I can get gummy worms, and there's a friend of hers that has not slept in 6 years. He has this big, huge sore on his leg, and it won't heal, and it's like they've been cleaning it out. So she gave him some of the gummy worms that I could get a hold of. They're 100 milligram worms. This guy can now sleep. She is so happy that she's been able to help him get sleep. And she knows the feeling now of helping, and she wants to do it again and help other people now, right?
Oh, it's very contagious.
Yeah, it is. You should just go out and do it.
It's what gives me energy. I live in a very depressed world here, and
I see her face.
when you know the truths about things, this is the thing with finding the truths, and this show's about finding these truths. I've been a truth seeker for a long time, and when the truth is that we've been co-opted by a bunch of rich bastards who have been exploiting us for quite a while, and that the world is in trouble because of it. There's so much poverty and other societal issues that have resulted from us being exploited by these rich people. And so that's very depressing.
Yeah.
But when I found that, I can give back, and I found many ways to give back, many ways to make a difference. And that's what keeps me going. That's what gives me energy in the face of all this other stuff, which is really depressing. It could be really defeating.
Yeah.
What's going on here with these cops still after us, and not being able to get the support we should have from a group of public servants that we're paying to give us the support that they're not giving us. So it can be very depressing. But we do so much good, and I can see that, and it's very tangible as people come and thank us for what we're doing. We hear the reports. I know them personally.
I've heard them too, yeah.
And so, all of that, keeps us going for sure.
Yeah.
So, you want to go check on the RV?
Let's go, yeah.
My little kitty cat is sound asleep here. He's all tuckered out from running and jumping.
Around, yeah. Take my
Maybe he'll wake up for another show.
Oh, and don't forget about Aerofresh.
Still working.
Aerofresh.ca. That stuff really works well. Do you need another bottle?
I still got the big bottle. I
All right.
actually replenished the bottle because I'm not trying to hide the smell of weed from anybody in the RV there. We found out that it works for sure.
The moldy smell, yes.
And the mold smell went away. We don't notice that. It just smells like weed in there, and I think that's a good thing.
That's a good thing,
I think people like that.
Aerofresh.ca, it actually works.
So
We know lots of people who have not got speeding tickets because of this. Or not got cannabis tickets because of this.
Watch.
Yeah.
It's not raining at this moment.
Oh, that's good.
Well, there's our RV,
And there's George.
complete with the parking ticket that we got earlier today.
And the steamy windows.
Yeah, it gets very steamy in there.
And the steamy windows.
So you're gonna go around the back then and come in?
Yeah, so I'll go in the back. Sure, I'll hang around for a little bit more. I think just getting off work in about 15 minutes. So.
All right.
Hi.
We need more lights, guys. So change a few batteries and turn a few on there. It's a little dark in here. It gets dark earlier too. Looks like we could use a little housekeeping. So this is once again inside the Healing Wave CSP RV, where we have this amazing cast of characters.
Yeah, you got a great cast of characters in here.
You know what it's like for me, Glenn?
What is it?
I sit here in this seat all day, every day for the most part, and for me it's like watching a sitcom. It's this crazy sitcom about this group of people that are doing what they're doing against all odds, and it's kind of combined with the old laugh-in bit where they had the wall of windows, and all the celebrities, you would open the window and it's Goldie Hawn, and she's going to say something and then close it up, and then
he was a field of corn.
I'm like Goldie
stand up
Hawn?
behind the corn.
But here it's like the wall of windows combined with this crazy sitcom of these people that are willing to do what it takes to help people. Because they show up at the window here. There's just a progression of people all day long, and some of them are real characters, I'll tell you. And this would be quite the reality show. I'd have to get permission from the people that show up at the window to have them on camera and broadcast them. So, if we were going to do a reality show, I could just mount a camera up here, and you could just, sit at home and watch all these people come by and see all the things they have to say. Much of it is good, some of it is crazy, some of it is sad. There's the whole range of emotions here. I mean, this is like an epic movie where you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be amazed. It's almost like we even have special effects because we got Jen.
We got flashing lights.
We got things.
Yeah, did you get one?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. Yeah. Jen,
Hey, why did it turn off? I turned that thing off.
Oh, there you go.
See if we can make it flash here.
It was flashing.
I know.
There's the controller right there.
Okay.
He likes to do things the hard way.
Oh man, technology and me.
I think that thing's really cool.
Does one of these
Me
buttons
too.
say
Yeah,
flash?
I know you spoiled him.
Wow, and a Neil too. I'm sorry.
Only care
If
about
I
the
buy
boys,
one for
huh?
you, I gotta buy one for everybody. These guys are on the show. You didn't buy one for one staff, it's gotta be the whole staff.
I don't know how to make this thing flash.
Well, here, you gotta push the word
No,
flash.
the sensor
There's
might's
a
probably on the
word
wrong side.
flash on
Yeah,
it?
right here. Fade. There it is. Flash, the top one.
Okay.
There we go. You just push the word
Can't put
flash.
that there, Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew. How can we?
You are not my lighting guy.
There we go. We're flashing.
We have a lot of fun here.
Yeah, it's good. That's what you need to do. You don't want it to be boring.
Spirits are high. We're on edge a little
are the
bit.
staff.
We never know quite what's going to
So
happen.
are the staff. Yes.
Spirits are high, and so is this. It's a requirement. It's a job
Apparently the
requirement.
boss lets people smoke weed here.
This is pretty much a work-free drug place that goes on. I'm not sure, why we remunerate these people, because they should probably pay us to sit here on the couch and have as
Yeah.
much fun as they can.
Yep.
Like Jen wouldn't laugh this much if she went to a comedy show, is what she does here.
She well, the cats might make her laugh. At home, it's pretty good.
Oh, no.
No?
Oh, no.
I haven't seen those
No,
pictures
I don't
of
think
those
she's
cats.
laughing much at the cats anymore. Every
I laugh
once,
when they fall off the bed.
Yeah, see? They do. They'll do stupid things.
every
flip
once in a while
around,
they're
not-
cute.
Yeah, okay, cute.
but in between
Yes.
now, I suspect it's getting to be more and more work keeping after these things. How many you got?
12?
11?
I guess
11.
12.
Well, 7 are leaving, but not yet.
7 will be leaving shortly.
7-11.
Not quite fast enough, apparently.
They're making me clean my house, though. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
And then what? 5 are staying? 4? 4.
4 things.
So so I have one kitten from the last litter.
Two
One.
from the last litter.
Oh, so none from this litter. Okay.
Well, we'll see.
So we'll
I
see.
don't think my
Oh,
building
okay.
will let me. But...
So 6 are leaving.
Well, maybe I'll bring the other one for Kato to play with.
Oh, that's all I need is twice Kato.
Yeah, double trouble.
I love Kato. He's a great cat.
Yes, he is.
But he's a ninja warrior hunter.
Yeah.
Like,
Being the name of Kato, well, we all know that
He
Kato
earned
was,
that name.
Yeah, it was Bruce Lee and the Green Hornet.
And some other people say it's the Pink Panther.
There was a Kato
There was a
during
Pink- yes.
the Pink Panther also had a Kato spelled with a C instead of a K.
Yes.
And both of those characters would attack the main character, every chance they got to keep them sharp.
Yeah.
Well, you'd think one started it and the other one
But
copied
the,
it, is what
the
it
Bruce
looks like
Lee
to
one
me.
was more of the Green Hornet's backup guy, like Batman to Robin.
Called a sidekick.
Sidekick, yeah. Sidekick, whatever.
He
yeah.
kicked him in the side a lot.
I thought
Every
sidekick
chance
was
he got.
somebody that for the cowboy days,
No. How are you doing today?
So, yeah. Anyway, Kato is a wonderful cat, but he's
He's a great
a
cat.
teenager
Actually, I have
and
a few
he's
left.
got so much ability and so much energy. He can leap like you wouldn't believe. He just explodes out of his little sitting position. Boom, boom, boom.
Yes, yeah. And jumps like this and jumps like that, yeah.
He can move heavy furniture. You cannot keep him out of things.
I've
He's
seen him fall into the garbage
Thank goodness
today.
he's basically a pretty good little boy, because he could be a terror, and I'm sure he could rip anybody to shreds. He's now lengthwise the size of any full-size cat,
Yeah.
and he's still got quite a ways to go. He's going to be a big one. And this is a savanna cat, so if you look up what savannas are all about, they're not that far removed from the jungles and the forests. These are wild animals.
They're sleek.
And so the idea of having 11 of them in a house or in a room,
In a room, yeah.
a room.
Not even a house.
I can't even fathom that, but thankfully the 7 are just like still so little that they're not doing much. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, these cats are a real handful, and they deserve to have a forest, not just even
Yeah.
even a
Well, we
house.
got a cat tree and a cat bat, which is what you do, right?
We do the best we can. He
Yeah.
runs, end to end so fast and jumps and leaps all around everything and
I
stuff.
think
But,
a cat's got food and a nice home. It's probably happier than being out in the street. So I'm sure
He
you're
got
gonna-
out?
He got out. Yes, yes. And it took you what, a day to find him?
within 24 hours, we had him back.
And did the street help you with that? They did.
Absolutely, the street helped us with that, and Facebook helped us with that.
Oh, that's good, eh? Yeah.
Somebody spotted him in the lost cat group that
Yeah.
Diane Clavio had put him in,
Yeah.
and I guess they knew that the neighbor had gotten the cat that looked like that or
Yeah.
whatever, and then went and told her. She was really, really good. She was happy to have the cat back.
Be returned to its family, yeah.
There are
cool.
strays that run around Main and Hastings area, the downtown east side.
Yeah.
And so she thought she'd found herself a stray because he's just a kitten still.
Yeah,
He's long, but he's thin, so he looked like maybe he wasn't. But then she said she was starting to realize that he was really well looked after, and probably had an owner, and wasn't like the the regular strays.
Yeah.
So she was very happy to give him back to us, and she'd gone out and bought him a kitty litter and a box and toys and a bag of food.
Nice.
And she would not accept any money from me. I tried to force money on her, and she wouldn't take it.
So many
really
great
good
people
on
out
her.
there for cannabis. And
She's
pets
a wonderful
and,
person.
and kids. And, the world is a good place.
But he was looking a little frantic apparently as he was darting in and out of places at Main and Hastings there.
So I would be a little frantic having to be around there too.
Yeah, anybody going down there with a half a brain is frantic for sure.
Yeah.
So
it's a different world.
It's a different world.
So
that's what's going on, folks. That's kind of our update for the week here as to what's happening. I would mention that back east, Chris Enns, he's got his case. They're now put off to December 18th for what looks like a couple of weeks of 2 separate jury trials.
Wow.
Which is just a hell of a waste of our resources to do that. And Heidi Chartrand, she'll find out tomorrow. She's got a sentencing decision day. And so she's asking for a complete discharge, and with no forfeiture.
Yeah.
And so we'll just see what she gets. But,
and where is she a BC case?
No, this is all in Nova Scotia.
In Nova Scotia.
Both of these are in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, because there might be people out there don't know,
we'll
right?
See what happens with all of that. Maybe there's some precedent-setting stuff going on there. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We'll see. Other than that, I mean, we'll find out what happens here as things probably escalate with respect to them trying to force us out, and we'll see what decisions that we make.
Wait till the new year and give you a break.
All of that would be nice, but any day, anything can happen.
The mayor's written that letter for decriminalization. I would think that cannabis
and I sent him a letter today.
Yeah.
I sent a lot of people letters today. This is license or bust, folks. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
We're on a journey where we're either going to get licensed or we're going to get busted, and either of those could happen any day. So we're hopeful that what happens tomorrow is that we get notification from Patty Haydew's office that we're going to be allowed to have an exemption that she will sign. I called her today. I called her Friday. You don't get to talk to anybody. You just get to leave a message.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend you do that. It's easy to get her number. Just Google it. Patty Haydew, Minister of Health. Yeah. And you can get her email and her phone number.
That's the one that we went and protested in front of last year, was it?
No. She doesn't have an office here.
Oh,
She's back east.
Okay.
That was probably Judy Darcy.
Was it?
Or maybe it was one of the MLAs from the provincial legislature
where
we were
posting pictures
talking
of
about safe supply.
Yeah, when Ted went down there, we were.
Those were MLA offices. We did Farnsworth and a few others. So these are things people can do. It's important to put some pressure on Ottawa to give us what we need to stop the harassment.
Yeah.
The police busting us is just outrageous. It shouldn't happen, and it doesn't have to happen if enough people put pressure on the federal health minister, and they can understand. If you've had an experience where cannabis has saved your life, for example.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
Tell them. This is the time when we need to hear from you. If you've got a story about how our project helped you, or cannabis high dose edibles helped you, or anything, for any reason, but especially if it's close to your heart and you've had real close experience with some of the horrors of addiction and things like that, and you understand how much value we are to this community, and more than that, it's how much of a loss it would be if we were to have to stop. That's the real concern to me. I mean, our program should be expanded for sure. It should be embraced and allowed for sure. But what we are doing and have been able to do to this point, it desperately needs to not be stopped. because there's a whole bunch of good people.
Instead of 5
that
people
are gonna
dying
be-
a day, it could be 10 people a day.
That's right. Those
Right.
numbers will increase.
They will.
That was the recent letter that we just got of support that talked about how we were taking pressure off of the first responders and the frontline workers that are
Allowing
dealing
them
with
to do
all
their
this
stuff, yeah.
because there's less of it because of our efforts here. And MJ Malloy made that pretty clear in his work as well, that we're making a difference here. So we really should not have to stop, and we'll do everything in our power to not stop. We'll just see how far they're willing to take it and what we can do in response. So
we got 2 more weeks to the sock thing, so
keep in mind the
What's it
Doobs
called
and
again?
Tubes.
Tubes and Doobs Vancouver, the CSP one. The link. I'll do the link in there one more time.
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll post all of that, and just something that we did last year as well. Although we did give away Doobs last year too, so it's kind of the same
I brought
thing.
in like a ton of clothing and socks, and I was cleaning the house to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, we had socks and gloves and
bears, all
tubes,
kinds of
and
stuff.
so much stuff was donated to us.
Oh, we had the
That's
hand
it.
warmers. We had all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, well, like I said, if we go
Toiletries.
over the $1,000 mark, then we'll have extra money to buy some toiletries, maybe some bars with soap and stuff like that, because soap would be
Honestly,
really...
there are free toiletries like everywhere down here.
Are
I think
there?
the hand warmer things are probably better.
Hand warmer things are
It's
probably better.
cold out.
Okay.
So,
Well,
yeah.
we got 40% off on the socks at Cabela's.
Nice.
They're really nice to be able to do that and pass it on to us.
So socks is our focus, but it's certainly not all that we're going to be giving out.
If you guys, we got 2 weeks, you got something to give away, come on down here, 157 East Cordova.
Yeah.
Basically as close as where
That's
close,
right.
as close as
Come
we
see
are.
us at the RV,
Come see
11
us
to
at the
7.
alley.
December
Come see
22nd.
us at the alley.
Come see us right at the corner of the alley in Cordova. We're here
We'll be
11 to
here,
7.
going down,
We're here Tuesday to Sunday. We're not open Mondays here, but we're open Tuesday to Sunday.
and they're accepting donations.
We are accepting donations
That's
for our Tubes and Doobs giveaway coming up on the 22nd. So that's all good. Other than that, you can find out what's going on in the world of cannabis and probably even updates on our program and other things through the other Pot TV shows that happen here. On Monday, we've got Carly Marley with the 420 Lifestyle Show. On Wednesdays, it's Greg Williams with From Under the Influence. Thursdays, it's BC Bud Gal with Morning Glory. Johnny B's got How's It's Growing on Fridays. We got High Noon with Boss Lissa on Saturdays. Sunday, there's nothing going on. You take that day off or catch up on shows that you missed. And I'll be back next Tuesday with another episode of the THC Show. In the meantime, consider what you can do. These are very crucial times. We need to get these community cannabis-based stores with low barrier access, which means inexpensive, good quality cannabis in all of its different forms, needs to be available for people in every community across Canada. Poor people, sick people, daily users, people trying to get off opioids and street drugs, they all really need and deserve to have a low barrier access medical cannabis dispensary. And we can make this happen if we can just get our exemption from the federal government and then get our licenses for what we're doing down the road. We can make all this happen. But it's going to be up to a lot of people to help us make it happen. So please write letters, make phone calls, send emails, do whatever you can. And let's make 2021 a much better year than 2020 with respect to access to cannabis. We can at least have that much. All right, so as you're going through your routine and doing what you do, be kind to each other. Care about your own mental health issues, care about other people's mental health issues, and of course, always have as much fun as you can.